Good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to part 63 of Aokana, no Kanata no fō rizumu. Last time we ended off with their planning of their date, which then ended up going straight into it, which I was expecting a little bit more to kind of ease their way into it, but it was just that. Anyway, so their outing itself was quite interesting. The main points were her coming out about her love of meat, or finding out about it, I should say. Then there was the part of her talking about her friend from her old school, making promises, and I feel like I'm forgetting another good point, but oh well. Then we ended up, another good thing I wanted to mention was we had a couple of nice CGs here and there, which was quite nice. And we ended off with one as well. So yeah, now we are here at this part. I did get clarified on that whole flying together with not getting repelled, and well, it was mentioned earlier, and yeah, so that does make sense here now. So here I don't think we will get into anything. But yeah, it's just a nice moment here for them, and we'll see where this is gonna go. I pull her into a tight hug and kiss her as we hover in the air. I thought she was the one that initiated it. Okay. Just from the way it looks like she went into him in a sense. Okay. Tears streamed down her face, dripping onto mine. Rika. I rubbed my cheeks against hers as if to wipe away the tears. I want to show her that I'm willing to wipe away all of her tears, no matter when or where. Our lips press together and our tongues intertwine as I attempt to soothe her with a kiss. That's when he was rubbing his cheek with hers was quite a sweet thing, quite a nice thing, but okay. I love you too. Inside her brave exterior sits an incredibly lonely girl. One that simply doesn't move no matter who calls out to her. She'll say that she's fine, but no one can tell if that's true. Hopefully, I've managed to reach her. Since now I'm in a place where I can reach out a hand to stroke her head and tell her everything is going to be okay. Nothing particularly dramatic has happened, and no intense calamity has befallen her. But that's exactly why nobody's reached out a helping hand to her yet. They all thought she was fine. She was so good at hiding her feelings that no one thought it was even necessary to help. And that's why I've decided to put her before everything. And from now on, I'll do everything for her. What is an honest student? What does it mean to be a good girl? What is a genius? How can you possibly say someone's been blessed? That was a bit weird there. How can you say I think it's just, how can you possibly say someone's been blessed? I think there's too many says, I'm not too sure. There are tons of things in this world that you can't understand until you're right beside them. And the two of us continue to kiss and seemingly melt together. You can even say we're getting to know each other all over again, understanding the past that brought us to this mutual present. We can understand each other through more than just words. And so our kisses drag on endlessly. Okay. After our date, we return to my room. I was going to say, okay, nothing happened, but then we might actually go straight into another one. I sit down on the bed. Instead of sitting beside me, Rika plops herself down between my legs. She has a habit of snuggling up to me whenever we are alone. It's pretty damn adorable. I stroke her head and rub her shoulders as the two of us look through a fashion magazine. Say, I was going to get you a present, Rika. What do you want? I guess that's what she wants. No, kisses don't count. I can stop myself after the look she gave me.
と、マサエさんがくれるものなら、なんだって嬉しいと思いますよ。
Come on, don't you say that. There must be something.
だから、プレゼントは何でもいいですけど、選ぶときはたくさん私のことを思い出したり、考えたりしてくださいね。私は、そんなマサエさんを想像して、きっとときめいたりしちゃいますから。
Suddenly, picking out a present for you has turned into the hardest task in my life.
あとは、嬉しすぎてブログで紹介とかしたり
You don't have to announce it to the whole world.
さすがにそれは冗談ですけど。
Rika pokes her tongue out mischievously.
マサエさんこそ、何かプレゼントしてほしいものなんてありますか？
I think about it carefully. But as I do, I see the fashion magazine. You'd look good dressed up as a Santa in a miniskirt. Okay.
はい。
Or a policewoman, a nurse, a businesswoman in a suit. Even a chairman with a red-rimmed glasses. Actually, I'm curious if there's anything changed in this one. Okay, no, that's the same. Okay, some of them I can't read, but yeah, okay.
何の話をされているのか。
You're incredible, Rika. I think you'd look good in anything.
ああ、やっぱり頭の中で私を着せ替えてたんですね。マサエさんへのプレゼントを聞いてたのに。
Yeah, that's the whole point. There's literally no better present.
マサエさんでもそういうの好きなんですね。可愛い制服だとちょっとわかんなくもないですけど。なるほど、なるほど。
She's also thinking about it. It's almost weird how okay you are with all of this.
いえ、ちょっと将来の就職先の参考にしようと思ったくらいですから。
Don't base your laugh on that.
ですが、マサエさんはもう私の中でいろいろなことを左右する重要なファクターですし、喜んでくださるなら何でもしてあげたくなっちゃうんです。
I'm happy to hear that, but you really shouldn't be basing a career on my fetishes. You already do tons for me, Rika.
でも足りません。私の気持ちが全然収まらないんです。
I get the feeling that I should drop this topic before I do any serious damage to her. I've got it. Do you mind listening to my biggest request of all?
一番。はい。私にできることでしたらぜひ。
Sex related. Okay. Great. What's gonna be,
それは、はい。私も最初からそうかなとは思っていましたから。
The way Rika's squirming is just too cute. And we're gonna have to pause there for a bit and then go straight into it right after that because they're getting into the next H scene, so yeah, I'll see you when that is over. And we are back. It has been a bit of a... well, firstly you'll notice that we're in a different scene. This is after the H scene. There has been a bit of a long break between the first part of this episode. Then we had the H scene, which I had to record separately. Then I started to just get slightly sick with other things. Busy, it's just been a bit of delay. So the H scene itself was, I've got to mention, probably the it's hard to say really. I've seen my fair share of H scenes and visual novels, and this is probably my least favorite one, I would say. There was between... it's really hard to say. Maybe it's just taste is one thing I can just say. Perhaps. The wording also kind of threw it off. I'm being expected of this visual novel at the moment, or the translations I should say, not the visual novel itself. So I started to stop here on the H scene, mainly because I felt like this is the after moment. Nothing normally happens after this point. But if you do see a skip or something, then I would have done something to stop it. I'm just hoping they don't really talk about what happened, because obviously that's going to be difficult for me to edit. But yeah. Yeah, nothing else to really say about what happened between the first part and this part. Nothing story related really, nothing like I've seen some visual novels have like interesting stories, elements placed into their H scenes, things like that. I think a good example was Noah's in the 9 series, where they had some interesting talk in between it, and it was quite interesting to learn about. But yeah, nothing here. You'll notice there might be a pause here and there. That's just me because of my sore throat. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen after this. I have no idea if they're gonna continue it or just go back to normal, so yeah. Vika giggles as she bounces her head on top of my arm.
朝やさんにこんなことしてもらえるなんて。すごいです。これは。
Oh, sorry. I'm happy to hear that. Though, honestly, it's really no big deal.
そんなことありませんよ。とっても嬉しいです。
I've never done this before, so I don't know if I've got my arm in the right position. Right now, he has giving her an arm pillow in a sense. Maybe there's some special trick to this that I haven't figured out yet.
私も腕枕をされるのは初めてですけど、きっと正しいと思います。
She nuzzles her head into my arm again.
マサエさんの腕はちゃんと枕になっていると思います。
Let me know if the bone digs into you or the bumps on muscles feel weird.
いえ、そういうのはありません。
Vika immediately shakes her head to ward off my concerned words.
私の頭、重くありませんか？しびれてしまったりしませんか？
I'm totally fine here. She rolls her head around on my arm in an attempt to confirm my answer.
こうやって頭を乗せてると、マサエさんは男の人なんだなって思います。
So, say that again.
こうやって頭を乗せてると、 マサヤさんは男の人なんだなって思います。
So, interestingly enough here, from what I can gather from the Japanese sentence here, it's more about how the arm itself, obviously the way she was saying was like, it really does show that you are a man, or you, in a sense, it points out that, oh, yeah, it really does show that you are a man. It does have a different way it is explained in English as well. How manly you are compared to how you can tell you're a man. To me, it has a different feeling to the way the words are conveyed. What do you mean?
私の腕なんか比べ物にならないくらい太くて長くて筋肉がついて硬くて男の人の腕だなって頼りになる感じがして、興奮します。
Okay. Aroused?
違います。
Rika's eyes shoot wide open as she panics.
違うんです。興奮は言い過ぎました。いや、興奮は過激な表現でしたので訂正します。させてください。お願いします。
Okay.
高ぶってしまいます。もうまずいですよね。
Yeah, sounds pretty innocent to me. Rika's brow creases as she thinks to herself.
安心感がありますってどうでしょうか。これなら問題ありませんよね。
It feels relieving for me too. Okay, sorry, I just had to repeat. I'm relieved that it's relieving for her. Rika breathes a sigh of relief.
答えが見つかって私もほっとしました。
I really like to use that word relieved. Okay. So you're saying the situation got you all excited, right?
それはしますよ。変なことでしょうか。
I don't think so.
そうですよ。マサヤさんとこんな風に密着して興奮しない人なんていないんですから。
I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't, actually. Like 99.999% of people even.
逆に聞きますけど、マサヤさんは私と密着して興奮しないんですか？
It definitely does.
もう私だけが興奮してるのかと思って落ち込みそうになったじゃないですか。
She gives me a pointed look.
でもそれより腕枕されて嬉しいって気持ちの方が上ですから勘違いしないでくださいね。
Same here.
はい。
Back on topic though. My arm isn't too hard, is it? It's not hurting your head or anything. Rika aims a gentle smile at me.
大丈夫。ちょうどいいです。頭に馴染むって感じがします。
She lies on her side to get an unobstructed view of my face.
毎日この枕で寝れたら幸せだろうなって思います。とってもよく眠れそうです。
Sounds like this was a successful experiment then.
マサヤさんの腕を持って帰りたいくらいです。
You're starting to sound kinda creepy.
着脱式になりませんか？
Obviously not. Rika breathes a short sigh.
マサヤさんと同じベッドで横になって腕枕までしてもらっているなんて不思議な気がします。
Really?
不思議です。
Rika chuckles.
マサヤさんとお付き合いすることになってこういうことになっているのが信じられない気がして、だから不思議なんです。
I don't know about that. I'd say it's all pretty vivid. And I'm glad that we're going out too. Rika pouts.
私だってマサヤさんとお付き合いできてよかったと思ってます。言いたいのはそういうことではなくて、単純に不思議な気がするということなんです。マサ
You think?
ヤさんは初めて会った時から私とこうなるって思っていましたか？私はこうなるなんて想像もできませんでした。
Obviously not. Well, actually, maybe there was some small part of me that did.
もしかして私が隣に引っ越してきた時からそういうことを思ってたんですか？
No, I can't say it was love at first sight or anything.
実はそばが大好きとかですか？もしそうだったらましろちゃんに怒られそうですけど。
The food didn't make me fall for you, Rika. Rika nods to herself.
ということは私の着替えを覗いた時にですね。
Oh, come on. It's not like you're assuming that's the case already. I started speaking all formally, feeling guilty about picking on her even though it was a complete accident. When you talk about it formally, I want to take a look. Yeah, I did come off feeling a bit... Okay,
ごめんなさい。
Rika presses her head into mine. Into my arm, sorry.
今さら言うことではないかもしれませんけど、私は最初マサヤさんのことが苦手でした。
Ningata is actually an interesting word here. Ningata is more like bitter or more like... Because it uses a similar word, ningai, which is bitter itself. Ningata is more like... how can I say this? Ningata. You weren't comfortable with or... Ningata isn't really extremely negative in terms of disliking or not liking somebody. It's because the way I read this English here, I really didn't like you at first. To me, that comes off quite negative. Quite obviously, it is negative, but more harsher, I guess you could say. Whereas Ningata is more unsure in terms of the dislike. Yeah, I know. I could tell. Like your face kinda cramped up whenever you saw me?
それはまだマサヤさんがどういう人か知りませんでしたし、勘違いしてしまっていただけです。
Well, there was also that time at the training camp where you left as soon as humanly possible.
だからあんまりいじめないでくださいと言っているじゃありませんか。
Rika presses her head back against my arm like she's trying to crush it.
何度も言いますけど、マサヤさんのこと勘違いしていただけなんです。こういう優しい人だって知らなかったんです。
Sorry, it's just the one moment from the H scene kind of made me think not so much, but okay. Right. That's kind of embarrassing. Not really sure how to react. She glares at me.
今は意地悪ですけど。
So for some reason I had a feeling they were wrong way. Rika's overly straightforward nature makes it hard for her to keep her emotions in check, which causes a lot of trouble. Personality might not ever change, but I feel like things are at least heading in the positive direction.
失礼なことをたくさんしてしまった気がします。だからそういうことを考えると、マサヤさんとこういう関係になるのは不思議だなって思ったんです。
I guess. But hey, maybe you need a little conflict to make relationships work.
ぶつかった方がですか？
Like two people will never agree on absolutely everything. So being able to make up and still love each other after a fight is the mark of a strong relationship.
そうかもしれませんね。
Oh, sorry.
そうかもしれませんね。そう言っていただけるとほっとします。
So the reason why I skipped that quite quickly was because when she says the first part,
そうかもしれませんね。
which is just this,
そう言っていただけるとほっとします。
she says at the end there that it actually makes me relieved. Sorry, I'm just going to hear that one more time.
そうかもしれませんね。そう言っていただけるとほっとします。
She feels relieved with him saying that in a sense. But I just found it quite interesting how they didn't translate that part. Let me just change that to Japanese. Just take a look. See, sorry, I haven't read Japanese in quite some time now. そうかもしれませんね, which is that first part, and then he has that second part they didn't translate, which is quite interesting. Not sure why they didn't do that. The smile vanishes from Rika's face as she reaches out a hand and places it against my chest. Oh, what's up? Sorry, that what's up is to me is quite... sorry, I just can't go with those words sometimes. Like doshta, like what's wrong in a sense. What's up is more... I don't know how I can explain it. Urban language? I don't know how you call that. It's just something that I don't quite enjoy reading or like seeing. Anyway. She's gently stroking my chest with her fingertips. I'm going slow here because I feel like there's something happening here.
こんな時ですけど、FC の話をしてもいいですか？
Not a topic I would have thought she would talk about. Sure, go for it.
私は、強くなっていますか？
You sure are. Anyone who knew you before would say the same thing.
マサヤさんの指導が間違っているとか、不安に感じているとか、そういうことを言いたいわけではないんです。ただ、自分がマサヤさんの指導をしっかりと受け止めているのか、自分ではわからないから、それで少し不安になるというか、すみません。うまく言えなくて。
That's fine. Honestly, I doubt many people could even explain it that well. You're getting stronger, Rika. You can trust me on that one.
はい、ありがとうございます。でも...
Rika falls silent. Wonder what she wants to say. Is this about Kurobuchi?
はい。どうしても気になる選手です。
Interesting word here. どうしても気になる選手です。Sorry. Athlete is what's that. So she can't help but think about that. She can't help... Sorry. Trying to think of how to explain it in English. As an athlete, can't help but think about it. Or can't help but think about her as an athlete. I'm using the word censure as talking about it, but yeah. It's not really just about thinking about her, but more about her as an athlete, I think is what's trying to convey here. One of the main goals of our practice is getting rid of Rika's anxieties. Maybe it hasn't been working well.
彼女のしたことは許せません。佐藤院先輩のことも、アスカさんのこともそうです。
I know. I'm with you there.
それだけではなくて、私とプレイスタイルが全然違うから、だから余計に気になるんだと思います。
Rika's style has become less obvious recently, but she's still a very by-the-book player. On the other hand, Kurobuchi plays rough, to put it mildly.
正直に言うと、黒渕さんが怖いんです。
Makes sense.
だから、それを乗り越えなきゃいけないと分かっているし、そのための練習もしているけど、心のどこかで彼女のことを恐れているのが分かるんです。
The day Kurobuchi gave Sadwin-san and the rest of the Takafuji team concussions, I hugged Rika as she trembled. Sorry. Okay, he was just thinking about it. Same, okay. Our anti-Kurobuchi training plan may be helping somewhat, but it's clear some of that fear still resides within Rika.
黒渕さんはどうしてああいうスタイルを選んだんでしょうか。
I'm honestly not sure. If she had just chosen to play rough, I could understand why, since that would increase her chances of winning.
勝率ですか？
So here, Shoritsu desu is more like she's parroting what he was saying, the chances of winning. So, if I were to have translated this here, I would have said chances of winning, and I would have put a question mark. Saying, is that, what do you mean by chances of winning? Yeah, amateurs tend to look down on people who play dirty, and there's barely anyone willing to teach that style. So stuff like that is usually only used by pros.
はい。
And because barely anyone plays that way, no one trains to specifically counter it. That means if you choose to play dirty, you have a much better shot of winning. Throwing in the occasional rougher tactic like Shindo-san is one thing, but if you completely devote yourself to the craft, it's hard for anyone who plays fair to beat you. Thing is, it doesn't seem like Kurobuchi's concerned with winning at all.
そうですよね。前に練習試合でアスカさんが黒渕さんと同じことをしてくれましたよね。
Yeah, she pulled it off pretty well too.
あの時マサヤさんはアスカさんのプレーは黒渕さんと本質的に同じだって言ってましたよね。
Fundamentally the same. Oh, I get it. I'm a total idiot. I've just been contradicting myself.
そうなんです。
Sorry?
そうなんです。
So here he was confused at first, and then he realized what had happened, it's all about, which I haven't been paying too much attention to myself, unfortunately. But here he gets it, but the English here for Rika is saying "oh" is almost like she didn't get it herself, but only realized, oh, you know what it is. In a sense, that O with the question mark. To me, the Japanese "sonan desu" is saying that is correct, or that is right, that is true, or she herself already knows, and now that he gets it, she says that is true, that is what it is, that you've got it, you've reached the right conclusion that I have. Her style was fundamentally the same, but there was an obvious difference.
はい。
Rika's face tenses up.
アスカさんは挑発も含めて勝つためにやっていました。だけど黒渕さんは勝つとか負けるとかそういうことのためにプレイしていないと思うんです。
Come to think about it, she did cheat so much that she got kicked out of the summer tournament. She made sure her floats bumped into her opponent right off the start of the match, and because of the timing, the referee was bound to see it. It does make you wonder why. What's her end goal? If she was trying to use that technique to gain an advantage, she would have saved it for a dogfight to make it look like an accident. If she was trying to win, doing it at the start would have been a dumb idea.
私はその試合は見てませんが、佐藤院先輩から話は聞いてます。もし試合で当たった時、そういう相手にどう対処すればいいのかわからなくなってしまいそうな気がして。
Most people train as hard as they can to win matches, but Kurobuchi doesn't care about that in any way, shape or form.
マサエさんや皆さんのおかげで、ラフプレイへの対処にはそれなりに自信がついたんです。だけど、試合を壊そうとまでする相手にどう対応したらいいのかなって、そこが不安なんです。
I can see that actually, because in essence they're two different types of players or people. One who's just trying to play dirty and the other one who's just trying to completely ruin a match. It's better not to think too hard, honestly.
難しく考えないというと
All you have to do is win, Rika. She seems to be disappointed by my comment. Rather disappointed is more like surprised, I think, is what would have come from that.
それは当然そうかもしれませんけど、でも黒渕さんは勝つことなんかどうでもいいと思っているのに。
Rika? I stare at Rika as I curl my arm around behind her head to bop the top of it.
まさやさん?
Quit thinking like that. You're falling into Kurobuchi's trap.
黒渕さんの作戦に？どういう意味ですか?
It doesn't matter what her actual goal is. If you're already stressing over it, anxious about what she might do in the match, well, that just makes it easier for her to mess with you. If you get caught up in her trap and read too far into things, you'll essentially be committing suicide out there. So let's check if the wording they use here. A lot of kanji I can't read.
そうですね。
Kurobuchi excels at provoking her opponents, and I doubt that that's due to natural talent. I'm not really sure Kurobuchi's thought that far ahead, but that doesn't change anything. Rika stares at me, seemingly amazed.
私、危ないところだったのかもしれません。
Sure was. You play flying circus, Rika. Forget about Kurobuchi for a moment. What's your goal in a match?
試合の目的ですか？それは勝つことではないでしょうか。
I was thinking of a cliche thing where you say, well, just have fun. Exactly, it's the very basis of the match and the reasons why everyone works so hard. If you forget that, you'll end up in the same position as Kurobuchi.
同じ場所。試合の目的がわからなくなるということですね。
And if that happens, Kurobuchi will have a huge advantage.
私は悩んではダメなとこで悩んでいたんですね。
You have. Listen, winning or losing isn't always the most important part of a match. But if you don't go in aiming to win, then you may as well not participate.
はい。
You can learn things through losing or even feel satisfied because you gave it your best shot. But you have to play to win for any of that to happen. If you don't, it doesn't matter how hard you try. You'll never learn and you'll never feel satisfied. Even if Kurabuchi's aim is to ruin the match, you have to go out there to win.
はい。
I've said this before, but you should try to find the fun in your matches, no matter your opponent. I doubt it's easy to actually enjoy a match with the person who hurt Asuka and Salween-san, but I still want you to try. I think having the strength to enjoy it is a good thing, Rika.
アスカさんなら楽しむことができるのでしょうか？
I was thinking of that actually. I think she would still enjoy it. Well, yeah, that's just how she is. Still, there's no point comparing yourself to her.
黒渕さんが何を考えていようと勝ちます。そしてできれば楽しみたいと思います。これでいいでしょうか？
Yeah, that's great. You can do it, Rika.
はい、頑張ります。
Rika starts cracking up. Well, what? I thought we were having a serious conversation. What's so funny?
私から始めた話ですけどせっかく腕枕をしてもらっているのに結局 FC の話をしてしまっているのがなんだかおかしくて。
So the word she used here was actually quite interesting. Ude makura. I don't know if some of you have heard the word daki makura, which is the hugging pillow. The makura, I think, is pillow. So ude makura, ude meaning arm, arm pillow, obviously. I mean, because of the situation. So rather than saying while we're in each other's arms, it's more like while I'm using your head as a pillow. Sorry, not head, your arm as a pillow. So it's not exactly the same wording. True, kind of, but I'm more of a literal person, so. Yeah, this probably isn't what most people would consider pillow talk. It is kind of funny.
でもこういう時だからこそマサヤさんに素直に不安を話せたのかもしれません。聞いてくれてありがとうございます。
You don't need to thank me. I'm down to hear you out anytime. Rika starts stroking my chest again. What are you doing?
せっかくこういう状況なのでマサヤさんを興奮させてみようと思いまして。私は胸を触られたらそうなるからマサヤさんもそうなるかなと思ったんです。
I had a little bit of a skip there in terms of, not really skip, but I guess you could call it removal. I don't know how to really say it, but I just felt like some of that might have been a bit too much for YouTube, I guess you could say. Anyway, it wasn't too much, just they're making an instance. There wasn't much there. So here we seem to be going to the next scene. There was a black screen transitioning to this. Here water splashing. I'm worried about there being CG here. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna stop here anyway. So, this episode itself was a bit of a nightmare for me for various things. I do gotta mention though with that so-called pillow talk, you could call it. I was, when I first entered that CG scene, I was wondering if it was right or not to have that type of thing there. But it was that type of talk that is important for the story and the character. That's the type of thing that you sometimes would see in the middle of an scene, but thankfully it wasn't. But it was interesting to see the discussion regarding Kurobuchi and the way she isn't going about just to be dirty and to try and win, but more just to destroy the match itself. Which is interesting. Because then it makes you think, why is she doing that? What is her motives? What is the outcome does she want? Is it the type of person who dislikes flying circus, so learns flying circus just to destroy it? But then why doesn't she like flying circus? It makes you think, which I enjoy. Be interesting to see how that all ends up, and if we actually ever get to learn about the backstory regarding Kurobuchi. Now I think we'll leave it there for now. I do apologize again for the delay, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought. I'll see you all next time.